Good morning. Welcome to Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace. Welcome to the Soul of Sunday. We are Unitarian Universalists. Ours is a historic faith with a progressive theology. We affirm the worth and dignity of every being and that we are all deeply interconnected. We are bound to one another not by creed, but by covenant. And we are called to answer the call of love with open minds, open hearts, and open hands. Whoever you are, those of all nations, all creeds, all colors, all kinds of love, you are welcome here. Dear ones, happy Hanukkah and happy third Sunday in Advent. I hope these celebrations of the universal human impulse to make light in the darkness are bringing you joy. As always, it's so good to be together while apart. And again, please join me in thanking our extraordinary tech team for making this service possible.
Good morning. I'm John O'Connor, a member of the worship team. It's great to be here with you, the tech team, and our staff musicians. If you haven't already downloaded today's order of service, it's available in the chat and on the homepage at ascboston.org. All the hymn lyrics are included in the order of service and will be posted in the chat so we can sing together. There's also a link to Sermon Bingo on the homepage. Feel free to play along while Reverend Kim preaches. As we continue our virtual greetings, please say hello in the chat. Let's engage that Arlington Street spirit of welcome that transcends physical distance as we greet one another heart to heart.
Good morning. Last night, families around the world lit Hanukkah candles, lighting 3 candles for the third night of the festival. So I bring this morning the practice of lighting candles to this Unitarian Universalist congregation, where many of us, like myself, have a Jewish background or want to honor the Jewish holidays. The rabbis of the Talmud, well, they argued a lot, and one of the things they argued over was how one should light the Hanukkah lights. One rabbi and his school of thought that each night you should add an extra light, that on the first night you light 1 candle or lamp, and the second night you light 2, and so on. Another school of thought said, no, you should start with 8 and get fewer and fewer as it goes on. So from 8 candles and lamps or lights to 7 and 6. Well, as you may have guessed, the school of thought about adding light won over time, that's what we do. And the rationale is that we should be increasing light. We should be increasing joy in the world. We should be bringing more light to darkness. I'm taking that to heart this year, that in a year where things have been hard, let's add light. Let's add joy. Let's add wonder. So whatever that looks like for you, may this be a season of increasing light and joy, warmth and connection during long nights. I'll sing the Hanukkah blessings in Hebrew, the first 2 blessings over the candle, and the third for the first time in a year where one does something. And since this is the first Sunday this year where we're lighting Hanukkah candles together, we'll sing that one as well. And following that, we'll say the English translation. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu le'adlik ner shel Chanukah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa nisim lavotenu bayamim hahem ba'azman שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Amen. Blessed are you, source of all, who brings moments of holiness to our lives through the ritual of lighting the Hanukkah lights. Blessed are you, source of all, who brings our attention to miracles from ages past to this very moment. Blessed are you, source of all, who has given us life, sustained us, and brought us to this very moment. And let us say, Amen. Happy Hanukkah.
Good morning and happy Hanukkah. In honor of that holiday, I will be singing today the quintessential Hanukkah hymn, Rock of Ages. And I invite you to sing along with me. I'm going to sing the first verse in Hebrew, so feel free to sing that if you know it, and then I'm going to go back and sing the first 3 verses again in English, so 4 verses altogether. And I hope you enjoy. L'chanae l'shabeach Tikun betefilati V'sham toda nizabeach Le'itachin matbeach Mitzaram nabeach Azegmor b'shir mizmor Hanukkah hamizbeach Rock of Ages, let us song praise your saving power. You amidst the raging foes were our sheltering tower. Raging they assailed us, but your arm availed us, and your word broke their sword when our own strength failed us. Kindling new the holy lamps, priests unbowed by suffering, purified the nation's shrine, brought to God their offering, hand in land surrounding, hear the joy abounding. Happy throngs singing songs with a mighty sound. Children of the prophet's word, whether free or fettered, wake the echoes of the songs where you may be scattered. Yours the message cheering that the time is nearing. shall see the nations free, tyrants disappear.
For the third week of Advent, for love, we'll have a reading. I wish I could show you, when you are lonely or in darkness, the astonishing light of your own being. Hafiz. Love is not written on paper, for paper can be erased. Nor is it etched on stone, for stone can be broken. But it is inscribed on a heart, and there it shall remain forever. Rumi.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mark David Buckles, the Director of Music, here again with Julie Metcalf. And we're going to sing you one of our favorite Advent carols, People Look East. I hope you'll join in together. Here we go. People look east, the time is near of the crowning of the year. Make your house fair as you are able. Trim the hearth and set the table. People look east and sing today. Love, the guest is on the way. Furrows be glad though earth is bare. One more seed is planted there. Give up your strength, the seed to flourish, that in time the flower may flourish. People look east and sing today. Love, the rose is on the way. Stars keep the watch when night is dim. One more light the bow shall brim, shining beyond the frosty weather, bright as sun and moon together. People look east and sing today. Love, the star is on the way.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be your living sanctuary for you.
It is now time for our treasured ritual of sharing community candles of sorrow and joy. These candles were submitted on our website by the Friday evening deadline. If you didn't submit your candle and have a joy or sorrow to share this morning, please wait until the third candle is lit, the silent candle, and then type your joy or sorrow into the chat. In addition to sharing our sorrows and joys this morning, let's reach out to one another in the week ahead, staying connected. May these times remind us of how very precious this beloved community is. We need one another. Despite having to be apart, may we stay very close. And now, in the spirit of invocation, let's join in singing Sanctuary. The words are printed in your order of service and in the chat.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be your living sanctuary for you.
Some of us come today with heavy hearts. We open our hearts to you.
Our first candle of sorrow is from Lois Hartza. There are several COVID cases in my mother's facility this week. They are doing everything possible to contain it. Vaccine will be coming soon. Prayers for staff, residents, and for families. A candle of sorrow from Hala. For my Aunt Giselle Seaham, who passed this week, one of the most gentle, kind souls ever known. She took care of everyone and was an amazing cook and baker. She was super religious and loved unconditionally, even throughout an incredibly difficult life. And when others were against our marriage, she supported us completely. We lost an incredible spirit. May her memory be eternal. Amti Siham Presente.
Presente.
Our final candle this morning of sorrow is from Daniel Rosenzweig. My father, Don Rosenzweig, passed away in his sleep on Wednesday morning from lung cancer. I'm so glad I could be with him in his last months and that he knew how much I loved him. As I sang at Arlington Street just a few weeks ago, with Dad there online to hear, if I sing, you are the music, and you'll always live in me.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be your living sanctuary for you.
And some of us come today in joy. We share your joy.
Our first candle of joy and gratitude is from the Arlington Street congregation. To all those who, in spite of everything, are bringing us the magic of Christmas at Arlington Street Church. Wait till you see what tech team lead Art Nava is creating for us this Christmas Eve. And our final candle of joy this morning is from Hala and Jen and Hala's Baba Hazar. A candle of joy. A candle of joy for the amazing Arlington Street community who helped raise $1,000 to assist in recovery for the massive explosion in Lebanon that destroyed so much of Beirut. It was incredibly heartwarming, and we are grateful for our fabulous community. Peace and love to all.
and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
For all the sorrows and all the joys we hold in our hearts, we light a silent candle to remember and to rejoice. May the peace of this sanctuary enter into our hearts as we share a quiet moment together, breathing our prayers for ourselves, for one another, for our country, and for the world. Amen.
Please join us together now as we recite the affirmation and covenant of Arlington Street Church. You'll find the words printed in your order of service and in the chat. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is our gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to speak our truths in love, and to help one another.
El amor es el espíritu de nuestra congregación y el servicio es nuestro regalo. Eso es a lo que nos comprometemos, convivir en paz, hablar nuestras verdades con amor y ayudarnos los unos a los otros.
We rise, humbly hearted rise, won't be divided, rise, with spirit to guide us, in hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. We rise, all of the children rise, elders with wisdom rise, ancestors surround us rise, in hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we'll find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. We rise, up from the wreckage, rise, with tears and with courage, rise, fighting for life we rise, Spirit to guide us. Rise, rise.
Life is not about what happens to us. It's about what we do with what happens to us. Resilience is not just about bouncing back after taking a hit. Resilience is the capacity to adapt in the face of threat, tragedy, and trauma. It's about meaning, purpose, and spiritual growth in the wake of adversity. Christian pastor Charles R. Swindle puts numbers on it. Life, he says, is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. It starts with our attitude and it goes from there. Attitude, he writes, is more important than facts, more important than the past, education, money, circumstances, more important than giftedness or skill. We always have a choice about which attitude we embody. And our attitude literally affects our bodies. Studies have proven that our perception of our age has a direct impact on our life expectancy. While we're born with different capacities to cope with stress and anxiety, the good news is that resilience is not something we either have or don't have. Resilience is based on a set of skills, including thoughts and behaviors, that we can choose to improve and deploy. Resilience doesn't mean we won't be wounded or scarred by tragedy, but it means we can heal, recover, and go on. And here's some good news. It turns out that we build the muscles of resilience by being exposed to adversity. Not that we want to seek it out, but facing adversity head on can strengthen our resilience. This morning, after taking a deep dive into the science of resilience over these past weeks, I want to share my Cliff's Notes with you, the playbook for building resilience. But first, I want to tell you a story that really got me thinking about what it means to thrive rather than merely survive. Angie Monzillo begins her story on July 17th, 1989. She's 20 years old, newly married, and 7 months pregnant. Impossibly, she is sitting with 2 detectives in the interrogation room of the local police station. One of them tells her that her husband has planned and carried out the murder of his own father. She's shattered. Everything about my young adult life and everything I trusted about it were gone, she says. The path was obliterated. As much as I wanted to move forward, reminders of that day were inescapable. For the next several years, salacious Sunday paper headlines and evening news stories about his case were a regular occurrence. Sometimes journalists would take pity and leave my name out of print. Other times, they would not. Sordid details of the act and the dangers I faced were revealed. He was tried and sentenced to life in prison. My hometown community whispered. My faith community judged. My friends walked away. But in that time of darkness, my beautiful child was born. I began to see that I had options for my life and for hers. Finding those options was a process, and it was not easy. It required me to step out of complacency and into action. Being strapped with all of the financial obligation of the divorce and fighting over debts he had incurred equipped me to use my voice in a new, assertive way. I faced overwhelming emotional fallout, betrayal, loss of trust, anxiety, self-doubt, and fear. For the first time, I was truly choosing to happen to life rather than letting life happen to me. I was choosing resilience. My desire to move forward turned me into a need to move forward. And as I took responsibility to shape my future and that of my daughter, I began to see every place where I had a choice in what our lives would become. Angie Monzio has now been married for 25 years. She and her husband have raised 3 strong, independent daughters. She and her oldest daughter graduated from college together. With each challenge to resilience, she says, resilience is strengthened. I decided I would not be a victim. I decided that my life would be a life of victory. Here are 3 things science tells us about building resilience. First, connect. Whatever's going on, it's very important that we stay in touch. There's nothing wrong with a little solitude as we metabolize our feelings, but when we isolate, the risk of developing PTSD actually increases dramatically. Resilient people know they can't meet every challenge alone. No, relying on others is not a sign of weakness, quite the opposite. It takes courage to ask for help, and needing help simply means we're human. When the going gets rough, reach out, connect. Second, focus on what you can change. As we all know, focusing on what we can change starts with accepting the things we cannot change. Acceptance is not about giving up. It's about coming fully into the present. As Zorba the Greek says, the full catastrophe of the present. And turning our attention to what we can do to make it better. We might think we can regulate a situation by ignoring it, or getting angry, blaming ourselves, pushing people away, or wallowing in pain. But none of that works for long. And resilience is not improved by masking our pain with alcohol, drugs, or other substances. In Man's Search for Meaning, Austrian Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist Viktor Frankl famously wrote, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." Focus on what you can change. And third, say thank you for the challenge. Those of us who have used stressors as a challenge and an opportunity to grow, as opposed to perceiving them as a threat, are likely to cope better. Practicing gratitude always helps. Look for the meaning. Be grateful to those who are going through it with you, and do what you can to help them out in return. Say thank you for your optimism, courage, grit, forgiveness, love, and sense of humor. Say thank you for the challenge. On American writer Anne Lamott's 49th birthday, she woke up beyond depressed at the state of the world. "It's all hopeless," she writes. "I decided I would eat myself to death." However, after I had a second cup of coffee, I realized there was no food in the house. I drove to the market. I flirted with everyone in the store, especially the old people, and I lightened up. When the checker finished ringing up my items, she looked at my receipt and cried, "Hey, you've won a ham." I felt blindsided by the news. It was very disturbing. What on earth was I going to do with 10 pounds of salty pink eraser? "Wow," I said. The checker was so excited about giving it to me that I pretended I was too. "How great." A bagger was dispatched to the back of the store to get my ham. I stood waiting anxiously. I wanted to get home, but for some reason I waited. If God was giving me a ham, I'd be crazy not to receive it. Maybe it was the ham of God who takes away the sins of the world. With feigned cheer, I put it into my grocery cart and walked to the car, trying to figure out who might need it. I thought about chucking it out the window near a field. I was so distracted that I crashed my cart smack into a slow-moving car in the parking lot. I started to apologize when I noticed that the car was a rusty wreck and that an old friend was at the wheel. We got sober together a long time ago and each had a son at the same time. She opened her window. "Hey," I said, "how are you? It's my birthday." "Happy birthday," she said, and she started crying. She looked drained and pinched, and after a moment, she pointed to the gas gauge of her car. "I don't have money for gas. I've never asked for help from a friend since I got home or sober, but I'm asking you to help me." "I have money you can have." I said, No, I just need gas." She said, "I've never asked for a handout." "It's not a handout," I told her. "It's my birthday present." I thrust a bunch of money into her hand, all the money I had. And then I reached into my shopping cart and held out the ham to her like a clown doffing flowers. "Hey," I said, "do you and your kids like ham?" "We love it," she said. "We love it for every meal." She put it in the seat beside her, firmly, lovingly, as if she were about to strap it in. And she cried some more. Let's close with a poem by American Unitarian Universalist poet Lynn Unger. On the Other Side. Through the looking glass, down the rabbit hole, into the wardrobe, and out into the enchanted forest where animals talk and danger lurks and nothing works quite the way it did before, you have fallen into a new story. It is possible that you are much bigger or smaller than you thought. It is possible to drown in the ocean of your own tears. It is possible that mysterious friends have armed you with magical weapons you don't yet understand, but which you will need to save your own life and the world. Everything here is quite foreign. Nothing quite makes sense. That's how it works. Do not confuse the beginning of the story with the end. Beloved spiritual companions, may we choose not to give up or give in. Choose to happen to life rather than let life happen to us. I commend to you the spiritual practice of building resilience. Connect, focus on what you can change. Say thank you for the challenge. May our lives be lives of victory. Amen.
There was a Camptown man, used to plow and sing. He loved his mule, and the mule loved him. When the day got long, as it does about now, I'd hear him singing to his muley cow, singing, "Come on, sweet old girl, I bet the whole day ain't gonna rule my mind. Bessie, hard times ain't gonna rule my mind no more. I said it's a mean old world, heavy in need. That big machine is just picking up speed. And we're supping on tears, and we're supping on wine. We all get to heaven in our own sweet time. So come on, you Asheville boys, turn up your old time noise. Kick till the dust comes up from the cracks in the floor. Singing hard times ain't gonna rule my mind, brother. Hard times ain't gonna rule my mind. Hard times ain't gonna rule my mind no more. But the Camptown man, he doesn't plow no more. I seen him walking down to the Super Ed store. Guess he lost that neck, he forgot that song. Woke up one morning and his mule was gone. So come on, you ragtime kings. Come on, you dogs, and sing. Pick up that dusty old horn and give it a blow. Playing hard times ain't gonna rule my mind, honey. Hard times ain't gonna rule my mind, sugar. Hard times ain't gonna rule my mind no more.
Friends, our generosity continues to astound everyone. We are continuing to pay our staff and maintain our building even when most of us can't even be here. Someone who is here is the Friday Night Supper program, serving our hungry and unhoused neighbors every Friday evening. I thought it might be interesting to describe how they have adapted during these times. Since 1984, our guests have been served family style, downstairs in the parish hall. Then COVID hit, and this life-saving program was faced with the challenge of how to continue to carry out their mission when no one could come inside to be seated and to eat. For those of you who haven't been to Arlington Street Church, it stands facing the Boston Public Garden on the corner of Arlington and Boylston Streets. Wide stone steps lead up to the great doors, which open into a huge vestibule. In a brilliant pivot, Friday Night Supper program moved its operations there. The kitchen team prepares the food downstairs in the kitchen, as always, but meals are now packed up to go. Runners bring the bagged meals upstairs, and then the meals and masks are distributed from the vestibule. The food is always beautiful. This past Friday night, business was brisk. Our own Barbara Geehart proudly exclaimed that dessert was topped with real whipped cream. This is just one more brilliant example of out-of-the-box thinking, ingenuity, and resilience. Congratulations, and thanks to Arlington Street volunteers and supporters, especially Barbara and Friday Night Supper Program board members Art Nava and Patrice Keegan. Please take a moment now to join me in giving to sustain all the good work of this beloved spiritual community by filling our virtual collection plate. You can text the word GIVE, G-I-V-E, to the QR to give 617 or 300-0509. Scan the QR code in the order of service. Visit our homepage at arlingtonstreetascboston.org and click on the yellow Donate button now, or write a check and send it to Arlington Street Church. Thank you for your generosity. After you make your gift to sustain our beloved community, please continue to share in the chat what inspires you during these difficult days.
Like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion, like how a single word makes a heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. All those things I didn't say, wrecking balls inside my brain, I will scream them out tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned on. Started right now. I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song, and I don't really care if nobody else believes. I've still got a lot of fight left in me. Losing friends and I'm chasing sleep. Everybody's worried about me. In too deep, said I'm in too deep. And it's been 2 years, I miss my home. There's a fire burning in my bones. Still believe, I still believe. And all those things I didn't say, wrecking balls inside my brain, I will scream them out tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned on. Started right now. I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song, and I don't really care if nobody else believes. I've still got a lot of fight left in me. A lot of fight left in me. Like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion, like how a single word can make a heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned on. Started right now. I'll be strong.
There's always a lot going on in the Zoom room. This week, in addition to our weekly gatherings for loving kindness, meditation, poetry, a tea party, yoga, and writing, on Tuesday evening, Queen Santa and her elves will be on the steps at the Great Doors on Arlington Street, distributing candles for our Christmas Eve by candlelight services. Come by and take a selfie. For those of you unable to leave home or living at a distance, Tom and Bruce are making candle deliveries and mailing them out. Thank you to Queen Cheryl, Fishy, Tom and Bruce, Bill and Keith, Barbara, Laura Pattison, Daryl Waters, and Rebecca Reed for all of your elf help. On Wednesday night, there's a Carols and Lights Carol Sing with Director of Music Mark David Buckles. This is our 14th annual Carol Sing, one of our very favorite holiday traditions. On Thursday night, there's more singing with Song Share. And on Friday, there's a holiday social with ASC Social. Please go to ascboston.org for all of the information and the Zoom room links. All are welcome.
Dear ones, there are just over 2 weeks until we wrap up our congregational giving to All Souls, a campaign for the preservation of Arlington Street Church. We have been raising seed money for phase 1 of construction, which will preserve the almost 160-year-old spalling brownstone on the front of the church, as well as rebuild the Boylston Street steps and build a brand new, redesigned Arlington Street ramp. Construction begins this spring. The response has been wonderful. As of last Sunday, we had given $70,000 and reached just under 45% participation. Today, I bring you the wonderful news that we have given $105,000 and we are up to 63% participation. Thank you. Next month, in addition to seeking more grants, the Capital Campaign Kitchen Cabinet and the Foundation Board will head out into the larger community to do some very serious fundraising. What is essential is that we be able to say that we are 100% committed to this project and that 100% of us have made a gift. We want to demonstrate to potential funders that we care and are caring for our corner of the city. Today is Participation Sunday, as in 100% participation. Every single gift in any amount counts. Last week on Angel Sunday, our very own angels appeared to help us get there. Thank you to Bill Briggs and Keith Perrin, John O'Connor, Audria and Sarah Mady, Jim Tice, Tom Anderson, and Bruce Dallaire, who are prepared to give in your name if you are financially constrained. Thank you, dear ones. Tech team lead Art Nava is going to show you the graphic of the front of the church now, drawn by our architects at Brunner Cott. Thank you, Art. The stones are being filled in with our names, not on the building itself, but on this graphic. If you have given and your name isn't there yet, it will be by next Sunday. You can also go to ascboston.org and have a look. Eventually, this beautiful drawing will be mounted and hung in the sanctuary so everyone can see what we did together. Please text your gift. It's the same number, 617-300-0509. The word is souls. Go to ascboston.org and click on the yellow Donate Now button or send a check to the church. Thank you, friends. At the close of today's service, please unmute yourself for virtual coffee hour and enjoy the opportunity to visit in smaller groups in breakout rooms. And now, before I turn it over to Mark, David, and Julie for our closing hymn, thank you to all of you who joined in today's service and to everyone who made it possible. You are awesome. And remember, we're all in this together.
Our final hymn is Holly Near's I am willing. I hope you'll sing along with us. I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. There is hurting in my family, there is sorrow in my town, there is panic all across the nation, there is wailing the whole world round, but I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. May the children see more clearly, and may the elders be more wise. May the winds of change caress us, even though it burns our eyes, 'cause I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. Give me a mighty oak to hold my confusion. Give me a desert to hold my fears. Give me a sunset to hold my wonders, and give me an ocean to hold my tears, 'cause I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. So lift me up to the light of change. So lift me up, lift me up to the light of change.
Before our benediction, I invite you to reach out your hands and touch the sides of your square. Touch hands with the people to your left and to your right, and send out love to the person on either side of you, and to the people on either side of them. Send out love into this beloved spiritual community and feel it coming back to you. Love is the spirit of this congregation. And now for our benediction, I invite you to put your hands over your heart in Namaste. I bow to the divine in you. Our benediction comes from Congregation Bethel in Sudbury, Massachusetts. We gather in the chill of winter, finding warmth from each other, nourishing hope where reason fails. Grateful for miracles large and small, let us rejoice in the wonder of making light in the darkness. May we make light in the darkness. Let us keep this faith, beloveds, and pass it on. The service begins when the service ends. Bless your hearts. I love you. Amen.
Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. You're divine, my divine. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. You're divine, my divine. Thanks, everyone. See you next week.
Please visit ascboston.org for more information about this historic Unitarian Universalist congregation. Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace.